Hello everyone, welcome back to Tomb Raider Anniversary. I'm a day late on this video. I apologize for that. I've been behind on videos for like a month now, just because of being like back at work, and there's just some days where, not even because of anything that happened at work, just in general, I just am not in the mood to do video stuff, but I try to keep on like something of a schedule. Try to get at least 2 of this and Chicken Little each out every week if I can, but hopefully I can get myself back on track. If I have time, I might try to put up Chicken Little today, just so I'm on schedule, but we'll fucking see if that happens. Anyway, yeah, we are in King Midas's palace, and there are holes that we need to fill. We need to fill King Midas's hole with golden bars, but we don't have any of those, so we need to get some. And luckily, Almighty has provided us. That gorilla wasn't even doing it. He was just like, fuck it, just shoot me in the face. He just took it. And yeah, perpetually fucking up the adrenaline shot. I wish that, again, it was just an optional thing and you could just shoot them in the fucking head. And this grappling hook stuff is kind of finicky. You have to stand far away to get it. But yeah, we have to fuck up this pillar in the middle so that we can make the room above much more annoying to traverse so that we can get out of it. Because that's how video games go. Everything has to be a challenge, so you know, you can't just walk through a room and go up the stairs and then you're in the next room. Oh no, you gotta do a bunch of smashing and crashing. Anyway, here's our first little goodie of the level. It is a lead bar, but we don't have that. Or iron ore. Or iron ingot, as I said in my head when I first played this game and saw that. I was like, ooh, an iron ingot. Like I'm playing fucking Minecraft. I think they call them bars. Well, I mean, people call them bars in Minecraft, even though those aren't the official names, at least from what I remember. Unless they do call them bars now. I'm not exactly, I haven't gotten the updated, dictionary of Minecraft terminology. Here's some ammo I can't pick up because I don't have a shotgun. And here's some annoying-ass bats that you need to kill every time that you, fuck up this part, which was many times for me. This little shit-a-dick of stones in the sand is pretty fucking annoying, as you can see here. Especially when you want to get up there to that, medipack, and then you want to go back across. You like can't jump sideways. You can, but it'll just fuck you up. You won't actually go to the next part. And yeah, this sand just loves to slurp you up and start shooting you down. So yeah, like you can go left here and get it, but then you can't just go back on this ledge and then go left onto the ledge here, as I figured out here. But luckily I managed to save myself somehow. But it's just something like that. It's just a finicky little bitch. Anyway, the next couple of minutes that you're going to see is over the course of like 15 or 20 minutes, because this took a billion tries because I forgot what you need to do here, where you need to actually go. I think it's like fairly intuitive that you would jump on top of the pillar in the middle or try to jump over it onto the shit on the other side. But no, there's some stuff. There's some divots in these pillars that you can fuck with. And that's what you're doing. And then once you do that, you know, it's just a matter of actually making these jumps and not falling down into the little slit, which I did a number of times, which is pretty funny. I actually sometimes regret how much I have to cut out the deaths in this run, because, as I've said before, Lara's little ragdoll animation whenever she falls is pretty funny. But if I showed the deaths, we would be here all day, and I already am, you know, cutting up all this footage so much just to get the parts that you may actually want to see, rather than all the dumb bullshit. There's no use in me just going like, oh, and here's the part where I fucked up, here's the next part that I fucked up, and here's that 6 more times until the end. And that was dumb on my part, and I was very skeptical. I wanted to see what was up here, and now that I'm watching this, I don't even know why I included this, because there's nothing up there. I, for some reason, thought that there was some sort of doorway at the top of that pillar, but luckily you can jump across here. I was very surprised. I thought I had to do the whole thing over again if I wanted to get back up there, because if there are any goodies up there, I didn't want to miss any. But no, it's just a dumb hole in the wall with nothing in it, and it's stupid. I'm always kind of pissed off about that kind of stuff with this game, because, like, I don't know. This is just, you know, a game where there's lots of, you know, hidden boys. It's just kind of intuitive to me that you would assume that there's, you know, hidden goodies in all the nooks and crannies, so I want to check all of them. But 9 times out of 10, there's nothing there. Which is why I don't know how I am always missing these, treasures. Like, I don't know where they could be hidden, but who knows. Certainly not me. And these gorillas scared the fuck out of me when I was playing this. When I was coming down that hallway and suddenly you just see 2 big lumbering G-boys jeebing towards you. I still am eternally sad that this game is making me gun down a bunch of beautiful apes. One of these days I want to go on a proper rant about apes and wanting to be one. I mean, I am an ape, but you know what I mean. Wanting to be one of the, you know, the big apes. I talk about it pretty often. People who watch my streams or, like, follow me on Twitter know that I love talking about apes. I love following Twitter accounts that share videos of apes doing things. Apes and monkeys, because there is a distinction, of course. And they're both good. And I don't know, maybe it's, I don't know what about them I find so enchanting. Maybe it is just their aesthetic and behavioral proximity to humans because of our closeness in DNA. And, you know, their curiosity, their, I don't know, maybe I just like that they get to throw poo. Like, I just often think about how it's just a mere difference of 2% in DNA that separates, you know, me, 2% in DNA and, like, a large frontal lobe that took me from being, you know, a prehistoric ape, you know, an orangutan or something, throwing poop with my homies, bashing open coconuts and stuff, swinging from trees, hootin' hollerin', just vibing, having not a care in the world, and being a person and having to, you know, like, upload cover letters to Indeed so that you have enough money to be alive. Anyway, here's a very funny enemy in this game. I don't know how you are meant to deal with this, but this is what I did the first time I played through this game, and it's what I'm doing now. And yeah, he's just there. He doesn't really give you any indication of you hitting him, but he does take damage. He just takes a million gunshots. And yeah, I got kind of bored and I was like, well, this isn't working, so I walked away for a little bit. But then I realized that I'm gonna have to be doing a lot of swimming around in the water in this room, and this room is annoying as shit. And I didn't want to deal with the alligator being in there because it's basically a death sentence. If you're anywhere not near, like, immediately near the edge, that's why I was falling in the water and just kept getting back in, because you need to be pretty quick, because he moves quickly, and he almost guaranteed to kill you if you're in the water with him. So I just try to knock him out as soon as we can. There's a little ledge up there that we can't do anything about yet, but we will be visiting that and then failing at what we need to do with it. But first, you just gotta do this. And yeah, this room is neat. It's a little bit weird. Spoilers, there will soon be fire shooting out of a lot of these platforms. But not until we get the lead bar at the end. And I don't know, there's something about it that makes me feel like it is supposed to be... Like, I watched a guide of this, and it seemed to go off the moment that they stepped on that little pressure plate. This is just me looking underwater for anything. If there's any, like... Sometimes there's medipacks under the water, especially in those little, like, indents at the bottom. I don't know. But yeah, I think I watched a walkthrough of this where started shooting out the fire like at the start of the room and not before they got the lead bar, and I don't know if that's what's supposed to happen or what. I really could have cut out some of this water exploring, but it's kind of nice. I kind of like being in the water in this game, even though it can be kind of nerve-wracking when you need to go quickly and you're running out of air. But I like the water sounds. I like the sounds in general in this game. I've mentioned that before. And also, just something about some of these places with water in this game, I just get a nice, like, water smell in my nose. Like, it just smells like... I can smell like cool, fresh water, even though in reality in a place like this, the water there would probably be incredibly musty and filled with all sorts of little bits of particles and metal and such. So, while this is all going on, because from here on out it's pretty much just fucking with all of this stuff, I wanted to talk about something on a video that I showed and talked about on stream, but just for the sake of, like, you know, not having... Because I was, like, rambling about it for, like, 35 minutes, just to have kind of a more succinct mentioning of it. I was handed a book in the city the other day. It was after work. I had just gotten out of work, and I was waiting for Liv to come pick me up, and I was in Center City, right near City Hall, waiting for her. And I was there, and I was on the sidewalk, and I was looking for a halal food truck to order lunch for us while I was waiting for her, because... That's pretty much our weekly tradition at this point, is go to one of the halal food carts in Philly. I don't know how much I've talked about this in videos or on stream, but that is something that many people who know me in real life know about me, is that I love the halal food carts in Philly. The one on my college campus I still often go to, and the guys know me there. I barely have to say what I want. One of the carts, there used to be a cart that was right outside our apartment, and or on the street, like just down the street from it. He would switch sometimes, and he gave me his phone number once and would text me what street corner he would be on. So yeah, I have a very intimate relationship with those food carts, and Liv also loves them, so we like to get them, and we basically get it like once a week, which I don't know what that's doing to my body, but it is making my tummy and heart and serotonin happy. So I was looking for one. Sorry, I dropped something on the floor. I was looking for one, and so I was like looking down, because there were a lot of people. I didn't want to be just walking around in the middle of everybody. And I was looking for one, and there were people handing something out, and I assumed it was like pamphlets, but they were handing stuff out on the street corner, as one does in Philly, and they were like putting it in my face. They were kind of like just giving it to me, and I had my hand like out for some reason, and so I wasn't even looking, and I just kind of absent-mindedly took what they were giving me, and it wasn't until obviously it was in my hands that I realized that it was a whole book. And I also realized out of the corner of my eye that Donald Trump's face was on it, and I was like, well, this can't be good. So I put it in my backpack because I didn't want to be seen with it, and then I took it home. I waited until I was streaming to actually look at it because I wanted to get a first reaction. Okay, yeah, here's all the spooky fire. It's real spooky. And now you gotta do the fucking annoying thing with all the stuff on that back wall there. You gotta hit the back walls, and yeah, this is sort of the best attempt at that. The jumping that you have to do with those platforms over there is a little bit finicky. It can be needs to be kind of precise. So yeah, basically it is, and I've since found out that the group behind the book is like fairly well known. So I mean, this just goes to show how little I know about anything. But it's made by a Japanese group that, from what I can tell, is like just kind of far right sort of thing. I think it's called Happy Science. And they're kind of like they have a political wing, but they're kind of like a cult kind of thing. They're like a spiritual, like a new age kind of organization, and it was mostly just like pro-Trump and anti-China, the anti-China part, and the pro-Israel part. The pro-Israel part wasn't like as big a part of it, not nearly as big as the anti-China part. That seems to be like the main mode of whatever. But yeah, it's the author interviewing the guardian spirits, which the book explains is basically being the subconscious of Donald Trump and Joe Biden, with the implication that they are actually in quite regular correspondence with Donald Trump's guardian spirit. And so yeah, the idea being that you get like their unvarnished thoughts and motives for things, and it's just kind of like cartoonish propaganda, very clearly invented. My favorite thing, it came with a little a printout of their news website that they do about Xi Jinping's guardian spirit apparently confessing to sending a Chinese spy into the White House with a COVID bomb, which is what infected Trump, and it was an attempt at assassinating him, which, like, bully for them if they managed to figure that out. Kind of a, you know, not really a good suicide bomb, because you can't really guarantee death, and, you know, a guy doing it might also get it. And, yeah, so I didn't even talk about that. There's, like, an extra thing. I've gotten it before. I don't know what I was doing wrong there. I think you may just have to be quick. But, yeah, that pillar with the thing in it eventually just goes down. It isn't needed for, like, to progress as far as I'm aware. So I tried it. There were many more tries than just that. What you just saw was just my most successful try where I actually got to the last pillar and then was like, oh, it's not here. Fuck me. And I did it. I was getting pretty quick at it, but I never could get it. And it's weird because when I played through this, I did that part like on my first try. I didn't even really have much of a problem with it. I had way more problem getting to that switch with the, you know, the, what do you call it? The swinging dingens, those things. So, yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of funny stuff. I mean, I guess maybe I'll make a highlight from that stream. I usually, the good broadcasts, I usually just save the whole broadcast so that it doesn't expire, and they're on Twitch if you want to watch them. But maybe I'll make a highlight of, me, looking at that book and talking about it if you want to get some actual, like, excerpts from it. But yeah, pretty funny stuff. You come across some extremely interesting things in the city, that's for sure. And not just this city by any means, but I just, you know, I've collected a lot of interesting mementos and memories living in this city over the past 5 years, a little over 5 years. With that in mind, it's pretty funny that Trump is like fucked up on COVID drugs, on like the experimental drugs. The steroid that has like pretty serious neurological side effects, including mania and hallucinations, and it was after a day of being on that he like was saying that he should leave the hospital and did the stupid motorcade thing. And now he's at rallies telling everybody that he wants to kiss all the men at the rallies. And I love it. He's been, like, shopping it as a bit. Because the first time he said it, he was like, I'm immune to COVID. And now I can go out in the audience and I'll just kiss every one of you. And he goes, I'll kiss the women and the men. and everyone fucking freaked out. I mean, it brings down the house every time he does it. I mean, they love their president, and they want to kiss him. They want to kiss his big, wet, strong lips. And then the second time that he did it, it was almost verbatim up to that point where he was like, I'm immune, they said, and then he was like, I'm gonna kiss the women, I'll even kiss the men, not with much enjoyment, but I'll do it. And it was just so clearly, like, between those two times, someone was probably like, yo, Donald, that sounds kind of gay. That's kind of sus. You're getting a little nutty with it, you gotta be careful. And then he was like, all right. And every time since then, it's been a little bit of a variation on that, on that trajectory of the bit, you know. And it's just really funny. He may not win the presidency, but I think he'll come out of this with a pretty tight 15 if he's cool about it, if he keeps being so nice with it. But for real, he looks and sounds like shit. Like, he seems pretty miserable. He's just kind of being a whiny bitch in these last weeks before the election. He's like bringing up Obamagate stuff about Glenn Simpson and Nellie Orr and Susan Rice and the FISA court unmasking. Like, anybody give a fuck about that? It's basically just the Republican version of the Russiagate stuff. Just an ephemeral thing that pretty much nobody outside of the, like, dedicated partisan base cares about, or even really, like, can formulate an idea of, like, why it matters or why it affects them or anything like that. He's also bringing up the Hillary stuff. He's talking about, you know, locking up Hillary again, and, like, dude, she's irrelevant. I mean, Democrats have moved on from her as, like, a force in politics, pretty much. I mean, she still fucking talks all the time, but... And then, you know, the QAnon people, they've thought that she was, like, killed by a secret military tribunal, like, 3 years ago, so I don't know why he thinks that's really selling anybody. He wants to just play the hits because, you know, he's an incumbent now, things are going shitty, he's had to do all the parts of being president that he hates for the last year, which is, like, actually govern and do things, and, you know, not just, like, go to rallies and meet the big generals, which is who he blames for giving him COVID, by the way. He was saying, during his, like, Hannity interview, that he was coughing through, he was like, yeah, you know, these cops and the big beautiful generals and the troops, they all want to hug and kiss me, and, you know, things happen. And but it's pretty funny. It's funny seeing him be all fucked up. And the whole situation we're in is of course incredibly dark and concerning, but also kind of funny in a cosmic sort of way. And he seems to be losing steam, Trump, which is not to say he'll definitely lose by any means, just that he doesn't have that same edge. He's kind of losing his mojo a little bit. And man, am I excited for the fucking election to be over. Holy shit, I'm sick of getting constant election mail and being told to vote and make a plan to vote and make sure I'm registered to vote on all my social media apps when I voted like fucking 3 weeks ago already. And particularly exhausting because I'm of a mind that elections are kind of a ritual spectacle in this country, and that, you know, little in terms of broad strokes of how things are set up will change by them. So it's hard to you know, feel as anxious about it as a lot of other people. I've been pretty zen about it, but definitely ready for it to be over, which will be soon, so that's nice. Anyway, next time we're gonna find out what's in this dark water tunnel, so I'll see you then for that.